What a whirlwind day it has been for Bruce Pearl and the Auburn Tigers. In this video, we're talking about the brand new commitment for 2023. Let's talk about who that is and what it means for Auburn basketball. War Eagle, and welcome back to the channel. My name's Kyle here at E2C Network, where we share the whole Auburn experience. As you're watching or listening today, be sure to drop a comment down below about this particular topic. It'll help enter you into that ongoing subscriber giveaway for a signed Auburn football prize package. Details are listed in the description link. And lastly, we do want to thank members of our booster club like Stan McCullers, who help produce videos like this. April 21, 2023 will go down as one of the more eventful days that I've seen for Auburn basketball in quite some time. A decommitment, a new coach coming in, and now in this video, we're talking about the brand new transfer commit for the Auburn Tigers, Chaney Johnson, coming from Alabama, Huntsville. He will be filling a spot that has been vacated by a few of the departures we've mentioned in previous videos, and he has 2 years of eligibility to contribute to the future of Auburn basketball. So how did we get here? What's the timeline of events that brought us to his commitment today? We started obviously with Alabama Huntsville for the last 3 seasons. Remember, he has 2 years of eligibility, so you do the math, the whole COVID year. I'll let you figure all that out yourself. And obviously we entered the transfer portal, but not too long ago on April 13th, took a visit to the Tigers as of this video just a day ago, and the day after decided to commit to Bruce Pearl. Now let's talk about the player. What do you need to know about who is coming to be a part of this team? He's listed as a 6'7" guard/forward, depending on who you talk to, about 215 pounds. So what spot is he going to fill? Well, I think a lot of that's going to be determined by things we talk about later with the depth chart and who may or may not be staying. But what you need to know is this guy is extremely versatile. Came into Alabama Huntsville as more of a traditional guard, put on a few pounds, gained a few inches, and became more of a combo guy. Could be a stretch forward, could be a big guard, however you like it. I like to call them small forwards, but you name them however you want. Now let's talk about a few stats. His last season, arguably his best, because he was the Gulf South Conference Player of the Year. During that last season, averaged nearly 16 points per game, 6 rebounds per game, and on top of that, was shooting about 51% from the field, plus 75% free throws for the season. You know that makes me happy. And on top of that, his career three-point percentage, 37%. That's pretty good. A few storylines before we move on to talking about what it means for the Auburn basketball team. If you remember, Auburn and Alabama Huntsville played to start off this past season in an exhibition game. Auburn won, but there was a really good game from one Chaney Johnson being a part of that team, scoring 14 points and arguably the best one for their team on that particular game. There's also this story out there that Devin Cambridge was going to maybe potentially come back to the Auburn Tigers. Supposedly he's already committed to Oregon, and it was about the same time, so maybe there's some correlation there. And lastly, apparently Chaney Johnson is a lifelong Alabama fan.
Your thoughts? What?
Better figure it out real quick, Chaney. That's all I got to say. All right, now let's talk about what it means for him, yes, but also for the Auburn basketball team. We'll start off with some numbers. This will be the third commitment signing, whatever you want to talk about at this point, for this particular 2023 class. Aiden Holloway, Denver Jones, and now Chaney Johnson, which makes it also the second in a row transfer to come in. Now let's talk about what his future might be here at Auburn when he gets on campus. A lot of that's still up in the air because there's so much uncertainty. We've got players that are in the draft that may come back, those that may still decide to leave, those that have already left. He's obviously filling one of those spots that have already been vacated by players like Juwan Traore and Chance Westry. You're still going to have Chris Moore, who somewhat fits into this kind of billing too, that's going to be there. Really, we just got to wait and see what happens with some of these other things before we know how often and how early he might play. Now, let's very briefly talk about where he comes from and how that's important part of the recruiting game. He's from the state of Alabama, which makes him the second from this class in the state of Alabama and the second transfer. Obviously, Denver Jones being from Alabama too. From the Birmingham area, the Alabaster area, the Thompson High School product is where he is originally from. And that's a very basketball-rich area. So it's always important to go out there and win the battles in the state of Alabama, whether it's traditional recruiting, transfers, whatever. But it's really cool too to see Bruce Pearl, who's been very adamant about maintaining relationships with these smaller Alabama schools in terms of playing them, but also seeing that now come to fruition, and those relationships ended up in transfer commits like this one. And lastly, what does his commitment mean for this transfer portal and recruiting cycle for the 2023 class in Auburn basketball? Again, this is up in the air because we don't know who's going to stay, who's going to go. Alan Flanagan's still deciding at this point of this video what he's going to do. Will Jalen Williams come back? So you really don't know. I do know this, that there are still plenty of spots that were vacated by departures that are open, so you can expect at least another one. So there you have it, my thoughts on your brand new commitment, Chaney Johnson from UAH. Would love to know your thoughts about him down in the comments section below. Be sure to do that to be part of that subscriber giveaway. And hey, you need to be a subscriber because that's part of the process too. Check out those links in the description for ways that you can help support us here at E2C Network, where we share the whole Auburn experience. War Eagle.